Thanks for joining History Sparks. I am Sarah, your storyteller. First, I would like to tell you our mission at History Sparks. We believe that the history of your family has a lot of exciting history, or what we like to call stories. I believe that as I tell you my stories here, you will become inspired to write your stories, so your family will not lose touch with you after you are gone. Think about it. Adults, children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren will have a memory of you because you wrote your experiences, those lessons you learned, and the feelings you had during your lifetime. This is our mission. Now for today's story. It is the spring of 2020. The world is locked inside. The news is relentless. And then, on a Saturday afternoon in May, something happens that makes millions of people stop what they are doing, walk to their television sets, and look up. 2 astronauts, 1 rocket, and a moment that quietly changes the course of human history. Stay with me. To understand why May 30th, 2020 matters, you have to remember what the world looked like that morning. The COVID-19 pandemic has been shutting down the planet for months. Schools are closed, businesses are closed, people are scared, isolated, exhausted. And if you were looking for good news, genuinely good, unambiguous, look up from your phone good news, you are not finding much of it. And then, at 3:22 in the afternoon, a Falcon 9 rocket lights up the sky above Cape Canaveral, Florida, and history is made. The mission is called Demo 2. The spacecraft is a crew-driving capsule built by Spacex, a private company founded by Elon Musk in 2002. When putting humans in orbit was still the exclusive territory of national governments with vast military budgets and decades of infrastructure. The 2 astronauts aboard are Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley, veteran NASA astronauts, both former military test pilots, both experienced space flyers. And here's a detail I love. Both of them are married to fellow astronauts. Space travel is, for these 2 families, genuinely a family business. When they walk out to the launch pad that morning in their sleek white SpaceX suits, the contrast with the Apollo era is striking. These suits look like something from a science fiction film. The capsule they climb into has touchscreen controls, more iPad than NASA. The entire vehicle was designed, built, and operated not by a government agency, but by a company that did not exist 18 years earlier. The launch pad itself carries its own history. Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center is the same pad that sent Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin toward the moon in 1969. It has watched humans leave this planet for half a century, and this afternoon, it watches again. The Falcon 9 rises cleanly into a clear blue Florida sky. And then, something that still feels almost magical every time you see it. The first stage booster separates, flips itself around, and lands itself perfectly on a drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. A rocket, landing itself on a ship, named, by the way, Of Course I Still Love You, because SpaceX names its drone ships after science fiction novels, which is exactly the kind of detail that makes you love them a little more. Behnken and Hurley dock with the International Space Station 19 hours later. They spent 64 days aboard, conducting research and spacewalks, before splashing down safely in the Gulf of Mexico on August 2nd. But the number that stays with me is this. The last time American astronauts launched to orbit from American soil was in 2011, when the Space Shuttle program ended. For 9 years, NASA had to buy seats on Russian rockets to get its own astronauts to the International Space Station. 9 years of depending on someone else's ride. On May 30th, 2020, that era ended. Not with a government program, not with a military initiative. With a company. A private company founded by people who believed that the age of commercial spaceflight had arrived, and then went out and proved it. And the whole world, sitting at home in lockdown, watched it happen live. There is something about watching a rocket launch that affects the human chest. It does not matter how many times you have seen it. The ground shakes, the sky turns orange, and 2 people, 2 human beings, leave the planet. In May of 2020, when so much felt small and frightened and closed in, Millions of people watched that rocket rise and felt something open up inside them. A reminder that we are still capable of enormous things, that the frontier is still out there, that there are still people willing to strap themselves to 1.7 million pounds of thrust and go. History does not always announce itself. Sometimes it arrives quietly on a Saturday afternoon while the world is sitting on its couch, and sometimes, if you are paying attention, you get to watch it happen. To help you write down a story or two, we are offering you a free guide. Nothing to purchase, just help to get you started on this journey of having fun, writing, and remembering. Check below in the description for the download address. If this story gave you chills, share it. Someone in your life needs a reminder today that we are still capable of extraordinary things. Subscribe to History Sparks so you never miss a moment worth remembering. And I will see you tomorrow with another story that will stay with you long after this video ends. See you then.